Good morning, student. My name is Miss Manisha Borkar, Department of Fishery Science, NES Science College, Nanded. Now, today's we are going to start the theory paper second. The name of paper is the type study of Valagattu. It is commonly called as a freshwater shark. Now, in previous lecture, we are seen that the nervous system. In that, we are seeing the structure of the brain. Today's we are seeing here the unit number third, the topic which is related to the brain. Okay, the topic name is cranial nerves and spinal nerves. Okay, in that cranial nerves, we are seeing that the nerves and the spinal nerves is present in the fish brain. In that the peripheral nervous system which is related to that the brain, this peripheral nervous system consists of the cranial and the spinal nerves. Okay, this peripheral nervous system which is consist of the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. Okay, in previous lecture we are seen that the central nervous system. Okay, this central nervous system which is related to the brain, and this peripheral nervous system which consisting the cranial nerves and the spinal nerves. In that, firstly we are seeing the cranial nerves. The Valagattu has the usual 10 pairs of cranial nerves which running symmetrically on the two sides of the head. Okay, these cranial nerves which is related or present in a 10 pairs which running symmetrically on two sides of the head region. Okay, the head consists of the cranium, that is the brain, and these brains or the head which having the cranial as well as the spinal nerves. Okay, the first cranial nerves, the first or the olfactory nerve. Okay, the first or olfactory nerve originates from the anterior end of the olfactory lobe, which immediately after its origin it divides into two small branches which run ventrally forward. The innervate the anterior half of the olfactory rost. The posterior half of the olfactory rost is supplied by fine branches originating directly from the olfactory lobe. Okay, this first nerve which is a olfactory nerve which is originates from the anterior end of the olfactory lobe. Okay, we are seeing that the structure of the brain, there is a lobes are olfactory lobes are present in that the brain, and which this olfactory nerve which is originates from that the olfactory lobes. Now the second is the second or optic nerve. The second or optic nerve which arises from the ventral side of the optic thalamus of diencephalon on the ventral side of the brain and crosses to the opposite side below the cerebrum. Each optic nerve enters the orbit through the optic foramen which runs anteriorly above the ramus maxillaris and ramus buccalis, and which enters the eyeball to supply the retina. Okay, these optic nerve which arises from the optic thalamus, okay, of the diencephalon. Now diencephalon which is a part of that the brain, and this nerve which originates from brain which crosses opposite side the cerebrum. Okay, cerebrum which it also the part of that the brain. Okay, these optic nerves which orbit through the which orbit through that the eyeball. Okay, the eyeball or the retina which are the parts of that the this optic nerve which runs through the eye of the fish, that is eyeball, and which supply to the retina. Okay, next is the third or oculomotor nerve. The third or oculomotor nerve which arises from the ventral side of the midbrain and is covered by hind end of inferior lobe. It enters the orbit a little anterior to the optic nerve through the optic foramen. It runs below the ophthalmicus superficialis of fifth and the seventh, and then divides into two branches, a superior branch which supplying the superior rectus muscles, where it divides into two fine branches that is supplying the inferior oblique and anterior rectus muscles, which respectively. Okay, this is the third nerve, which is a oculomotor nerve, which having the fifth and the seventh branches of that the nerves, which having the orbit of a little anterior optic nerve. Okay, this oculomotor nerve, which is a orbit of that the optic nerve. The fourth and trochlear nerve, the fourth or a trochlear nerve, which arises from the dorsolateral side of the midbrain in between optic lobes and the cerebellum. Okay, in between this nerve, fourth nerve, which is present in the in between the optic lobes as well as the cerebellum. It leaves the cranium through a foramen in the orbitosphenoid bone, which enters the orbit and runs dorsally to the optic and the oculomotor nerves to supply the superior oblique muscles. Okay, here's we are shown that the head region of the fish, and we are seeing here the cranial and the spinal nerves seen in a lateral view. Okay, this is a lateral view of the fish head. This head, which consists of the cranial as well as the spinal nerves. Okay, cranial nerves, which are present in a 10 pairs. Okay, there is a names are in a short forms, and they having the numbering, which we are easy to identify which nerve is present in that part. That is we are seen here. The various nerves are present here, which are having a short names. That is we are seen here. The third is then the supraorbital. Then the ninth is a glossopharyngeal nerve is present here. Then in that the first nerve that is related to that of the olfactory lobes, which is present here. Then the in that region here, in that there is a in that head region there is a eye is present here. This eye is consisting the nerves of that the we are seen here that the optic nerves. Okay, these optic nerves, they are having the eyeball, and which supplies to the retina. Here's where special nerves are present to identify the various supplying to the body wall or the body cells of that the fishes. Okay, the various auditory nerves, then the various auditory that the vagus nerves are present, various oculomotor nerves is present in that the regions. Okay, these nerves like structure is having the special nerves. Okay, these are the cranial and the spinal nerves seen in we are seen in that the lateral view. Next one is the fifth or a trigeminal nerve. The fifth, seventh and eighth nerves arise from the side of the medulla oblongata, one after the other. The trigeminal the trigeminal and the facial nerves soon after their origin join to form the trigeminofacial complex, which divides into three branches, that is the supraorbital, the infraorbital and the hyomandibular nerves. The fifth or trigeminal nerve has the three branches, which is ophthalmicus superficialis, the maxillaris and the mandibularis. The ophthalmicus superficialis arises as a branch of the supraorbital trunk, which after its enters into the orbit which outer to the ophthalmicus superficialis of the seventh, and the two run parallel to each other. Then the rami maxillaris mandibularis of the trigeminal separate as branches of the infraorbital trunk of the trigeminofacial complex in the orbit at the level of the anterior end of the cerebrum. Okay, this fifth nerve which is totally related about that the facial nerves which carries from the various part of the branches, that is the supraorbital, infraorbital, as well as the hyomandibular nerves are present here. In that fifth nerves, that is having three branches, that is the ophthalmicus superficialis, the maxillaris, and the mandibularis. Now sixth one is the sixth or abducens nerves. The sixth or abducens nerve which arises from the ventral side of the medulla oblongata behind the origin of the trigeminal nerve. It runs outwards and enters the orbit along with the trigeminofacial complex and passes below the oculomotor nerve and supplies the posterior rectus muscles of the eyeball. Okay, these nerves are in a very small in structure, or that the nerves like structures which are related to each other and which are connected to each other. The seventh or a facial nerve. Okay, this is the seventh or a facial nerve is a large nerve with a number of branches and wide distribution, which having, as I stated earlier, it forms the trigeminofacial complex with the fifth which separate into the trunks from which the different branches of a seventh are given off. Okay, these we are seen in previous that the fifth, sixth, and the seventh nerves which are related or connected to each other. This seventh nerve which is having a facial nerve which having the part or the branches, the ophthalmicus superficialis, the ramus buccalis, the hyomandibularis, and the platinus, which besides an extra nerve, the lateralis accessorius, is also present in a Valley to the eighth or the auditory nerve. Okay, the eighth nerve which is related to the auditory nerve or called as the auditory nerve. The eighth or auditory nerve which originates just behind the facials nerve from the medulla oblongata. Okay, this is eighth auditory nerve which having located in the medulla oblongata just behind the facialis or the facial nerve, which divides into a vestibular branch going directly to the outside to the utriculus and ampullae of a semicircular canals, and a saccular branch which running below the medulla and anterior part of the spinal cord. Okay, in that brain we are seeing that the spinal cord which is present in that the cranium, these having the anterior part of the spinal cord to supply the sacculus legena and the endolymphatic sinus of the ear. Okay, the ninth or glossopharyngeal nerve. The ninth or glossopharyngeal nerve which arises by two roots just behind the auditory nerve from the ventrolateral side of the medulla oblongata. The two roots unite to come out as a common trunk from the cranium through a ventral exo-occipital foramen. The glossopharyngeal gives a short pharyngeal branch to the roof of the pharynx before its entrance in the gill arch. Okay, this is ninth or the glossopharyngeal nerve which is present here. The two roots we just behind that the auditory nerves, as I will tell that these nerves which are located or connected to the each other. Okay, and then we are one by one seeing that the first, second, third, fourth, okay, they are connected to that the each other. Okay, after that this auditory nerve, the ventrolateral side of the medulla oblongata, these the glossopharyngeal nerves which having a short pharyngeal branch and the roof of that the pharynx before its entrance in the gill's arch. Okay, the in respiratory system we are seeing that the structure of the gill, there is a various gill, there is a gill arch is present here, and this up to that the pharynx to the gill arch, these enters that the gill arch. Now the 10th or vagus nerve. The 10th or vagus nerve, as the name indicates, as a vagary or a wandering nerve, okay, which and has a wider distribution than that cranial nerves. It supplies the remaining gills, heart, and all important visceral organs lying in the abdominal cavity and the lateral line organs. Okay, these 10th or the vagus nerve, which name indicates that the wider, or the vagary, which having the winding to that the all abdominal cavities, or the all organs, all visceral organs which are present in that the fish, that is the remaining gills, then the heart, then the various abdominal cavity or the lateral line organs. Okay, these all which are totally bind up or the wind to that the vagus nerve. The vagus arises by two roots ventrolaterally from the medulla oblongata, just behind the ninth nerve. The two roots, okay, after that ninth nerve, the 10th nerve is present, that is the vagus nerve. The two roots which unite to form a common trunk, which soon forms a vagus ganglion before it exists from the cranium through a posterior exo-occipital foramen. The lateralis nerve originates first, and then the branchiovascularis trunk, which emerge out separately from the cranium. Okay, the visceralis nerve after a short course along the posterior border of the branchial cavity, which gives off two branches, which having one anterior branch and the floor of the branchial cavity supplying the pericardium and the heart. Okay, the visceralis, which carries the anterior part of that the pericardium and the heart, then another posterior branch to the abdominal cavity which supplying the viscera. The lateralis nerve arises separately from the vagus, which close to its origin from the medulla oblongata. Okay, these are the last or the lateralis, which is nerves which separate from that the vagus, which close. Okay, in that vagus or the 10th nerve, these lateral lines or the lateral nerve which separates or the close to that the vagus, origin from that the medulla oblongata. Now here seen that we are seeing the various in 10 pairs of that the cranial nerves. Here so we are seeing the spinal nerves. Okay, in your mind we are fixed that we are seeing here the peripheral nervous system, okay, which carries the cranial as well as the spinal nerves. Okay, the spinal nerves which arises by two roots, the dorsal and ventral, from the lateral sides of the spinal cord behind the brain. Okay, as we knows that in that brain, the medulla oblongata and the various parts, cerebellum is present in that the brain, that there is a various spinal nerves are present here, then the spinal cord is present in the brain, that is the lateral sides of the, and these spinal nerves which are present or the arise from that the spinal cord, as the name indicates here, behind the brain. There is a pair of dorsal or a sensory and a pair of a ventral or a motor spinal nerves innervating each segment. Now these spinal nerves, they are having a sensory functions, they sensor to that the various motor spinal nerves which innervating each segment. The dorsal nerve root arises from a spinal ganglion in the cord. In that the spinal cord, there is a which arising the dorsal nerve which having the spinal ganglion. It consists of somatic and visceral sensory fibers, but the ventral nerve root only has a somatic nerve fibers. Okay, in that nerves there is a various nerve fibers are present in that the spinal nerves, there is the somatic as well as the visceral sensory fibers are present here, the ventral nerve and the somatic nerve fibers. The dorsal nerve roots has an enlargement called the ganglion of the dorsal root, from which the ventral root arises. Both nerve roots run separately backwards for some distance within the neural canal, but unite together after emerging from the neural canal to form a common spinal nerve. Here, each spinal nerve has three branches: the ramus dorsalis, which supplying the spine and muscles of the dorsal body wall; then the ramus ventralis, which supplying the skin and muscles of a ventral body wall; and the ramus communicates having visceral, sensory and motor fibers which are connected with the autonomic nervous system. Okay, here these spinal nerves having the three branches, they having the supplying to the spine muscles of the dorsal body wall, then the skin and the muscles to the ventral body wall, having the ventralis, then the various sensory and the motor fibers which are going through that the spinal nerves, they having connected with the that autonomic nervous system. Okay, as you will seen that the nervous system, okay, this nervous system which having which consists of the three parts. Okay, first is the central nervous system which carries or consists of the brain. Then the second one is a peripheral nervous system, as we seen here that this peripheral nervous system which having this cranial nerves as well as the spinal nerves. And after that the nervous system, after the peripheral nervous system, the autonomic or the autonomic nervous system are which follows that the peripheral nervous system. The spinal nerves from plexus to supply the pectoral and the pelvic girdle muscles and the fins. Okay, this is a we are seeing here the various spinal nerves or the cranial nerves which is related to that the peripheral nervous system. Okay, in next lecture we are start the unit number 4. Thank you.